Hey, what's up, peeps? So I want you to notice something. I'm sitting here in my car, right? You hear all that background noise in the back as cars pass by and people are going throughout their day working and making a living. I want you to tune all that out. I'm gonna make this a practical exercise today, because in the same way that all this is happening around me right now, it's applicable to your life. You can apply it right now, today. Because when you begin to focus and tune out the noise, all the naysayers, all the doubters, all the things in life that is telling you what you can't do, Murphy's Law, then you begin to truly make progress, and you begin to go through 4 stages of life. And I want you to write these things down because they matter. These things matter. And I was sitting back and just navigating the thoughts in my mind that I have accumulated, over a lifetime, from my childhood up until now. And there's one dominating thought or 4 dominating thoughts that existed that were in my unconscious mind, but it took me into my adulthood to mature mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, to figure these things out. And so I said, you know what, let me teach this to somebody else, because these things will help somebody. They can help somebody get to that next level. When you begin to understand where you are, at what stage you are in life, you begin to move forward, because you can't progress if you don't have a foundation, if you don't have that moment where you look in the mirror and say, you know what, this is where I am. Not because of anybody else, but because of the decisions that I have made, and how can I either counteract those decisions or multiply those decisions. And that's the things that you look at each and every single day. That's how you begin to progress and move throughout your life. So the first thing that I always thought when I was a kid was, if I could only. Because if you don't know that much about me, you about to find out. I grew up, poor. I grew up in not a small city, but a place called Fairfield, Alabama, which is, right on the outskirts of Birmingham, Alabama. And Birmingham, Alabama, where I grew up, and then where the affluent neighborhoods were, places like Mountain Brook and Homewood and Vestavia Hills and Inverness and Mountain Brook, they were on what we call the other side of the mountain. And so I always looked at those mountains like, man, if I could only get to the other side of those mountains, I can take care of my grandmother. I can take care of my family. If I could only get to that other side of the mountain. But the problem I was having was I didn't have the courage, the bravery, the heart, the discipline to get to the other side. Because everything I had done up until that point was just dream, hope, wish. That's what the I can only mentality says. I just want to hope and wish, and then one day it might happen. There's no solidified or no concrete plan to actually make those things tangible, make them come into fruition, make them manifest into reality. So if you got time, just please write it down. Where are you at? Are you in the if I could only stage of life? And this is why planning and having discipline and courage and bravery and heart matters. Because when you have those things, when you have those attributes, right, you begin to work towards those things. And then if I could only falls to the background, because it's no longer a dream, it becomes I can, because now you've built up the confidence, and you built up the willpower and the fortitude to go after these things, and you decide for yourself that I'm tired of dreaming, I'm tired of hoping, I'm tired of wishing. I will accomplish these things because it must happen. Because there's people relying on me to make these things happen. So if I could only will turn to I can. See, you're not saying that I wish these things, I hope these things, I dream for these things to happen. No, I can make them happen. I have the ability to make them happen. I have the attributes to make them happen. I have the talents, the gifts to make them happen. I have the intelligence and the smarts and the bravery and the courage and the heart to make these things happen. I can make these things happen. That's the second stage of life. So when you start to build up that confidence, that bravery, that heart, that fortified mentality, that ironclad mindset to say, you know what, I will make these things happen. You go from if I could only, dreaming, wishing, hoping, to I can, which is a dictation, the determination a resolution that you are saying to life. This is what I am going to manifest into the world. Send your best shot, no matter what is going to happen. That's what I can says. And then once you start to accomplish these milestones every single day, these small tasks, every single day, when you live in that attitude that says, I can, and you just live with that attitude that where you just put your head down and you just make it happen each and every single day, working it out each and every single day, making the right decisions each and every single day, and deciding that you're not going to give up, deciding that you're going to accomplish something today, even if you don't feel like going after it, even if you don't feel like studying, even if you don't feel like working out, even if you don't feel like reading, even if you don't feel like talking it out, even if you don't feel like going and talking, to a therapist or a psychologist, even if you don't feel like going to the doctor, even if you don't feel like walking or running or going to the gym or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, even when you don't feel like it, you must make a decision. In the I can mentality, you must decide, because decisions are so important in the I can mentality, because they will dictate the rest of your journey, the rest of your life. Stop saying, this is my year. No, this is your life, and you can make it happen. So that's the second mentality. You got, if I could only, hope, wishing, praying, dreaming, and you got I can, making that determination to yourself, saying to yourself each and every single day, I can make this happen. I will make this happen. So if I could only, and I can. So you say, Charles, what's the third one? What's the third one? The third one is saying, I did. I did make it happen. That's when you reach that milestone, that place that you've been seeking after this whole time, this entire time, and you say, you know what, man, I got here. I'm here now. I've accomplished these things. But guess what? And this is the most critical part of the journey, because when you achieve those things, guess what happens? You have to keep them. And that same mentality that you've built up from the if I could only, when you dreamt about it, that dream still has to stay alive, because guess what happens? If you achieve that thing and it no longer has the same importance that it had in the beginning, you will lose it. The character that you built up this entire time is just as important now, if not more important, as it was back then. That heart, that determination, that bravery, that mental fortitude, that intestinal fortitude, that courage, that heart that you have built up over this time, that resiliency, that persevering mentality and attitude and spirit will keep you here. Because this is not the end. This is not the end of the journey. So this is the most critical time. Because yes, you've climbed to the top of the mountain and it feels good and it feels awesome. It feels amazing. You have that euphoric, that feeling says, God, man, you've come a long way. You look back on the journey and says, you know what? Man, this has been a long way. It's been a lot of hard work. Yes, it has been. But you got more to do. You got more to accomplish, baby. This is not the end. You know what the end is? This is the fourth and final stage. When you say, I'm done. I'm done. That's when you can lay all your chips on the table and you say, you know what? I've accomplished and done everything in this life I have set out to do. And guess what's the crazy part about this? This is that point where you get to when you retire, or you get on your quote unquote deathbed and you say, you know what? And you look back on your life and you start to go through the Rolodex of all the memories that you've had up until that point in time. And now you can begin to mentor and teach and help others, not because you're this great person or this magnetic man or woman that everybody seeks to be like, no, but because you now have accumulated a certain amount of wisdom that only comes from experiencing the highs and lows of life. When you get to that point to say, you know what, I'm done, I'm accomplished, I've done everything and accomplished everything, and I not only accomplished things, but the things that I've accomplished and completed, I have made better. I have set a high benchmark, a new standard for others to follow. That's when you can look back and say, whew, man, This has been an amazing journey. It's been an amazing journey. And now it's my responsibility. Now I have a reciprocal responsibility to reach back and teach others. That's what this stage of life is. And so, ladies and gentlemen, yes, you can move beyond that if I could only stage. I know a lot of us are there right now. A lot of us are seeking that I can stage, and that I did stage, and that I'm done stage. But be truthful and honest with where you are. Because many of us portray like we're in the later 3 stages of life and we're still in the first stage. If I could only. Because we're out here superficially putting out to the world things that we haven't even accomplished yet. We're out here calling ourselves fitness gurus and experts and entrepreneurs and business owners and being wealthy and rich. We haven't accomplished any of those things. I certainly have not. I'm certainly not the best speaker in the world yet. I'm certainly not the best author in the world yet. I'm certainly not selling out, stadiums and conferences, teaching people these principles. But I can. That's where I'm at in life. I can. And the crazy part about this is we will go through these cycles with everything we do. Like I said, even if you are accomplished, there's something else that needs to be done. There's something else that you can improve upon. We are not perfect. There's only one perfect person that has ever walked this earth, and your name isn't Jesus Christ. It isn't Jesus Christ. That's not your name. Your name may be Jesus, but it's certainly not Jesus, and you're certainly not perfect. We have all sinned and fall short of the glory. We have all done things that we regret, have, failed at things that we wish we completed. But that's not the point. That's not where our focus should be. Our focus should be constantly on the prize. And even if we accomplish something in life, we should have ways of going about it to which we not only accomplish those things, but figure out new ways to make it better. Don't just want to be a professor. How can you be a better professor? How can you make the profession of instructing students and young minds better? Don't just want to be a bodybuilder. How can you be the best bodybuilder? How can you revolutionize the bodybuilding industry? Don't just be the best author or, want to be an author. How can you be the best author, and how can you revolutionize the book writing industry? Don't just seek to be a doctor. How can you be the best doctor in your specialization, whatever it is? And how can you revolutionize that industry? Think of people like Dr. Charles Drew or Vivian Thomas, right? So even when we accomplish these great and monumental things, how can we make them better? These are the cycles of life that we go through. If I could only just reach for the stars and accomplish those things. And then you develop that mentality that says, I can do the things that I seek to accomplish. And then I did accomplish those things, and then I'm done. And then guess what? You look for something else that says, if I could only. If I could only. I'm done being a doctor, but I could become a medical director of a school or university. Yes, I wrote the Harry Potter series, but you know what? I could write a whole new trilogy that will change the perspective of everybody around the world. Yes, I did produce and direct that movie, and it was awesome. It was the best movie that came out that year. But now, if I could only just top that, what can I do next? You see how that cycle repeats itself? And that's how we make progress. You can do this with small goals, with big goals, with life goals, whatever size goal it is. Guess what? We go through all 4 stages again and again and again and again. This reminds me of, when I got kicked out of school, not once, but twice. And I said, if I could only. I remember when if I could only wasn't even an option. And then I remember I got sent away, or I made the decision to go to the place called the King's Ranch, the boys' home. And I started making A's and B's and excelling in my studies and, joining the Math Honor Society, being part of student government. And then my thought pattern became, I can. Then I joined the Army and graduated college. And then it became, I did. And then I graduated with my bachelor's degree, and then it became, I'm done. And then I remember thinking to myself, if I could only become a paid speaker, if I could only write my first book, if I could only get my MBA. And then it became, you know what? I can get these things done. And then I finished my first book, and then I got into graduate school, and then it became, you know what? I'm good at this. You see how this works? Progressively over time, getting better and better and better. These are the stages that we should be in life. Neither one of them is more healthy or unhealthier than the other, but we need to ensure that we're seeking that next thing, progression. So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, I know this is the unorthodox way of doing today's episode, of doing what I'm doing right now. But I love to do it, and I would do it anywhere at any point in time. I'm just coming from the gym. I'm literally just coming from the gym. I'm still in the gym parking lot right now, and I had to get this word out because I know if I don't get it out now, your boy might forget it. And so these are the things that we should all be looking forward to, man. Enjoy this year. Yes, this is your year. But more importantly, this is your life. And stop saying if I could only, and work on I can. Building that confidence, that trust in yourself to say, if I could only, yeah, that's the dream, but I can accomplish that dream. And then I did accomplish that dream. And then I'm done. So how can I make what I did better? How can I make what I did better? How can I make myself better? How can I get better each and every single day? Better decisions, a better thought pattern, a better viewpoint, better perspective, better self-esteem, confidence, belief in oneself and abilities and talents and gifts. You got this, man. You all are awesome, amazing, wonderful human beings. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. Hey, thank you for always tuning in to Grind Hard, Hustle Smart with your boy, Charles Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, you all are awesome, amazing, wonderful human beings. Don't forget, you can find us on YouTube at Grind Hard, Hustle Smart. You can go to the website, thecharlesjohnson.com. Again, thecharlesjohnson.com. You can also find us on all major podcasting platforms. I'm talking about Apple. I'm talking about Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Radio Public, all major podcasting platforms. Hey, we're there. And you all, let me take this time to thank you all for your support. You all have been awesome. Man, 2023 was an awesome year. We were listened to on every continent in the world with the exception of Antarctica. And if there's any scientists out there, hey, send it out. If you got a family member who's, doing some research on Antarctica, hey, help your boy check that block. Sure, the podcast isn't huge. We're not big. Everything I do is internally, your boy working hard. I'm the podcast host. I'm the owner. I'm the proprietor of this podcast. Every dime and capital is raised by me. I don't have sponsors. I don't have any of that. Your boy just putting in work, writing these books, going to school, doing all this on his own. And so you ask yourself, what keeps you going, Charles? You all do. Because I want to see you all not only where I am, but beyond me. I just want to leave this world in a better place than when I joined it in 1987. April 5th, 1987, your boy joined this world, and I just want to leave it better than how I found it, how I got it, how I discovered it. And I want to give you all that purpose and that meaning and that value and help you recognize those things in your life because you matter. You matter. So, hey, ladies and gents, thank you for tuning in. Please, let's make 2024 a better year than it was in 2023. Please promote the podcast, Grind Hard, Hustle Smart. Hey, I love you all. You all have my gratitude, my respect. I enjoy doing this, and I will continue doing this for you all. One day, some way, somehow, you will be on top. But you got to make a conscious decision, deliberate decision to do so each and every single day. And remember, grind hard, hustle smart in every way so that you can be somewhere, someday, on top. Have a good one.
You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
Yo, just give me 50 feet. I'm just trying to eat. I ain't gotta tell you what I got. I'm a G. Body frontin' like they so straight. I don't really care cause I be on it. Got it black, did it resonate? Screaming YOLO, rockin' polo, we the fate. Everybody frontin' like they so straight. I don't really care cause I be on it every day.
Everybody loves a hero. I believe there's a hero in all of us.